I done it. I took the next step in the quest to show that anyone is capable of anything by completing my first half Ironman, all part of the journey to completing a full Ironman in 2019. I went to Copenhagen, Denmark, and I swam 1.9 kilometres in 43 minutes. I then got out the water, took my wetsuit off and cycled 90 kilometres in 3 hours and 12 minutes. And then ran 21 kilometres in 2 hours and 19 minutes to cross the finish line and make 5 months of hard, tiring, mentally and physically challenging training all worthwhile. So where do I start? Probably talking about why I went to Denmark to do it. It's a question that usually gets asked when talking about this. So I wanted to do it. Well, I always told myself that I would do it somewhere abroad. It never really excited me the same way to think of doing such an amazing thing that I've worked so hard for in Edinburgh. No disrespect to Edinburgh, I love Edinburgh, but, you know, I live in Scotland, it's 45 minutes on the train away from where I live, and it just doesn't excite me that much. There was a couple of ones in England, again, it just didn't excite me, and I always said I would do it in Denmark. Sorry, I would do it in Europe, and Denmark just fit a lot of the criteria I was looking for. Well, so I thought, in terms of weather. I didn't want to do it somewhere too hot. Now, with it being in June, a lot of the places around that time of year in Europe would have been really hot, and I chose Denmark thinking that it would have been a bit milder. Now, it turned out that Denmark were having a bit of a heat wave, and it wasn't cool at all. But weather was a factor. I've never been to Denmark. I've always wanted to go. A lot of friends have went to Denmark, and always looking at pictures and hearing them talk about it. I've always wanted to go there. The flights to get there were pretty reasonably priced, and it only took an hour and a half to get there on the plane to get to Copenhagen. The race itself wasn't in Copenhagen. It was in Elsinore, which is about 45 minutes on the train from Copenhagen. So I flew to Copenhagen, stayed there for the duration, but had to get the train to where the race was. Now, the city of Elsinore, when I looked at the photos when I was kind of doing the research into doing it, when I saw the photos and saw what the place was like and where I would be racing, that's what definitely made my mind up. As soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, this is where I want to do this. And I booked it, pretty close to the start of the year. And it was, more money and more hassle, but it's only ever going to be my first half Ironman once, and I thought it's literally once in a lifetime thing. Let's do it. And I'm really glad I made that decision, because Denmark itself, I absolutely loved it. Now, the not so positive things of doing it in Denmark was just the fact that you're taking a bike. It was quite a big stressor. I'm not going to lie. Leading up to it, it got me pretty stressed out. Main thing was, it's a new bike I had, so it's worth a lot of money. My last bike got stole, so, pretty scarred in that sense. And I was just like, what if something happens to it? What if it gets lost? Just overthinking it too much. When you get there, before you go even, you've got to take the bike apart. And that is not as easy as it sounds. It's not like you're just taking the pedals off or just taking the wheels off. There's a lot of things you need to do to get it ready, to put in the bike case or bike box, whatever you're using. Now, I was very lucky in this sense that my friend Stu gave me his travel box to use, and I say I'm lucky because these things cost about £500. So thanks again, Stu, for doing that for me. I really appreciate that, and that helped me out so much. But yeah, in the couple of days leading up to going, and especially the night of taking the bike apart, which I had got somebody to show me to do it, but I was just freaking out, man. I was just like, what if I don't do this properly? What if I don't take all the parts with me? And I was really getting myself in a bit of a mess about it. The travelling aspect of it, I was travelling from Edinburgh Airport, live in Glasgow, so I've got this massive box with a bike in it to get to the airport with my suitcase and my bag and all my other equipment. I then need to get it checked in at the airport at the special oversized items bit, and then pray that it gets to Copenhagen safely. And it did, thankfully. Got to had to get a big van taxi thing to fit all of our luggage and the bike in the taxi to get to the Airbnb. And then we get to the Airbnb safely and everything's there, but then you've got to build your bike up again. And that's another story in itself, because finally get there, get to Copenhagen, get to the Airbnb, and I'm like, I can fucking de-stress now for the first time in like a week. I'm so happy. I made it here. The bike is here. All the parts are here. Thank God. So I build the bike back up again. And I'm not too happy with how I've done it. I don't think everything's exactly as it should be. However, Copenhagen is crazy for cycling. And there's literally a bike shop on the street we're in. So the first morning, I take the bike into the bike shop and say to the guy, look, I've travelled over from Scotland. I'm racing on Sunday. This was Friday. I'm not happy with how I've put my bike together. Could you service it for me? And, pay you whatever you want to get it in race condition. And the guy's really nice. He's, yeah, sure. It's 200 odd krona, which was like 20 odd pound. And I'll leave it with him. Now, this was about midday. He says it'll be finished about 5 and the shop closes at 6. I was like, great, we're heading out for the day. It was a beautiful day. The sun was out. We had the day planned. And happy days. So we head out for the day. I travelled over with my friend G, who came to Brighton with me to do my last triathlon. So he came over with his girlfriend and my girlfriend. And the four of us went out to a place called Hummelback to go to a museum. And it ended up being this amazing place with like clear blue water and a beach and a bar. And the weather was just amazing, and we just ended up there all day. And I'm looking at the watch, right, okay, we're going to need to head back and get the train now so we can get back in time for the shop closing. We get to the train station, we get back to Copenhagen Central, we then need to get another train to the place we're staying. And we get on the train to go there, and we've timed it pretty nicely. Get there about 5:30, and the train gets delayed, and delayed again, and delayed again, and then it's cancelled. And I'm now stressing out my nut again because I'm thinking, I have not gave I do not have any proof that I gave this guy my bike, and who knows, this guy might be the nicest guy in the world, but he also might be a crook, and he might be thinking, if he doesn't come back for his bike, I'm going to sell it and play dumb when he comes in for it the next day or whatever. All these scenarios run through my head because I had no proof. No, I didn't ask for a receipt. I was just so happy that he was going to fix it for me. I just left it with him. By the time we got back to the bike shop, it was 6:05, and it was shut, and there was nobody in it. And I just couldn't believe I'd got myself in this position of stressing about my bike again after all the stress and worry about getting it over safely and everything else. I get over safely, and then I just leave it in the hands of somebody I don't know with no proof that I gave them it. And I've then got the rest of that night with all these worries and scenarios going through my head. I was just so annoyed at myself. I was so pissed off that I'd done that. However, I went in first thing in the morning, and the guy was like, "Here's your bike, man. It's all sorted, ready to go." And I was like, worrying over nothing as usual. So, yeah, the first day we done that. We went and just chilled by the water, and it was a really awesome chilled day with lots of carbon up. A few days before a race, an endurance race like this, I've got to eat as many carbohydrates as I can, essentially, to make sure that I'm fully stocked up with energy for the race on the Sunday, or I'll end up, being too depleted to do it properly. So yeah, just eating all the carbs in sight. And then the Saturday, it was registration day at the Ironman Village, and you have to go the day before the race to register and to rack your bike at the transition point, which means, you need to literally leave your bike in overnight. And obviously it's all security, and nobody's going to be able to get in and steal anything, which is all cool. But yeah, we went there on the Saturday, and it was a great vibe. There's like a big expo thing that goes on, with like obviously loads of stalls, people selling loads of stuff, music played, events on. There's a kids version of the Ironman, and it was just really cool to get there and see where the race was, see the water, and just take it all in. It kind of settled my nerves a little bit. And obviously I was there in the city, I was doing it at the venue, and I was just like, wow, this place is fucking stunning. It was so beautiful. I was so happy that I was there in that moment, and I was going to be racing in this place the next day. We had the race briefing, which was really handy. I'm really glad I made that, because they go over all the rules and regulations. This is an official Ironman race. You can get disqualified for certain things like littering, urinating, drafting on the bike. There was a lot of things, that I wasn't aware of, that I learned at that briefing. So I'm really glad, because obviously you can miss these things. Some people don't go to them, but I'm really glad that I went to that, and I felt again much more confident and less nervous after that. And then I got registered, got my Ironman band, racked my bike at the transition point, got all my kind of food for the bike set up in terms of my energy gels taped onto my bars. I had to leave my run bag at the run transition, had to leave my cycle shoes and helmet and all that there, and you just start to get a bit pumped up for it all. And then there was just loads more carbon up. That night I had 2 dinners, 2 pasta meals with bread and things like that, a lot of kind of fruit and carbohydrate based drinks and things like that. And I actually slept pretty well the night before. I was really worried that I was not going to be able to sleep. Denmark was hot. the pillows in the Airbnb weren't that great, and I was worried I wasn't going to get a good night's sleep, which was obviously so important for, you know, how I was feeling on the day of the race. Now, I had to be at the place for about 8 in the morning to start at 9, or to start warming up in the water at 9. So with the training and everything else, means I had to go up at 5:30, make sure I was eating with enough time. But I got up, I had a bit of food, but not as much as I would have wanted to have. I had nerves, I had a nervous feeling in my stomach. You know, this was the first time I'd done this, in terms of, you know, doing it abroad, doing these distances. Fear of letting people down. People are messaging me all weekend saying, "You'll smash this, I know you'll do great," donating money to the charity. You know, thinking about, you know, my dad, and that, you know, the whole reason I'm doing this. And I felt really fucking nervous. It's just the fear of the unknown, I suppose, as well. You know, I was really worried about not being able to eat as much and stuff. But as I sat in the train, I had a coffee, I had a wee bit more food. I got there and kind of got a bit more settled, got my wetsuit on, got a couple of drinks, energy drinks in me, and like a gel, and that was it. It was time for the race. This, you know, it was here. All of a sudden, I was in the sea in Denmark, warming up to begin my race, and it was all a bit surreal. But I was excited. I was excited to kind of, by this point, the nerves had kind of gone, because I'd done a lot of really good swimming training in the couple of months leading up to the event. I was out doing a lot of more open water training than I had ever done before for a triathlon, with my wetsuit on and things. And again, thanks to Amanda for helping me out with all that training. But yeah, because of that, I felt good for the swim, and I was excited, and it was time to go. So that was it. Here we are. There was 3,000 competitors. The pros went out first, and then it went in waves of people in certain coloured swim caps, depending on what time everyone thought they were going to do it. Now, I predicted between 41 and 43 minutes for the 1.9 kilometre swim. And I was in with the yellow swim caps, and there was hundreds of us lined up ready to go at 9:30, and I was in the water bang on 9:30. I was kind of at the front bit of the wave, and we were going in by fours. Now, the weather itself that morning, in the morning, it was pretty chilly because it was pouring the rain. It was quite windy, and the water actually felt warmer than standing out in the rain at this point. So I was actually just happy to get in the water, and I got in the water. The sea was great. It was one of the best kind of water environments, if that's the right word, that I'd ever swam in. And I just done my thing. I just kept calm. Usually at the start of an open water race, you kind of panic, especially if it's cold. Your breathing kind of goes, and your technique sometimes goes out the window. But I stayed calm. I just kept my breathing where it should be and focused on my stroke and my breathing, and I got off to a really good start, and that just made things really, really good in terms of settling my nerves down and going for it. There, as I say, there's 3,000 competitors. Obviously, we're going off in waves, but you did end up swimming in amongst a lot of people. You know, you're overtaking people. People are overtaking you. There are people hitting you in the head with their hands when they're trying to do a stroke. There are people kicking you in the head with their feet at points. But that's not their fault, and you can't get worked up about it. You just need to keep going. My goggles did kind of get kicked off at one point, and the water got in, which kind of which was a bit annoying because I had to kind of stop swimming and kind of sort my goggles out because I couldn't see properly. But apart from that, the swim went great. I absolutely loved it. I was absolutely buzzing in that water. I was just taking it all in, and I was like, I'm here. I'm doing this. This is happening. I'm going to get a time in this swim that I'm wanting. I was looking for. I predicted between 41 and 43 minutes, and I came out in 43 minutes. So it was bang on. And from that point, you get out the water, you then run, or well, you don't need to run, but I ran from that point through to the transition point to take your wetsuit off. As I was running through that point, I saw the guys there. The guys I was with, and they're shouting me on, and that's a great feeling. That just pushes you on so much. It's amazing. I get to the transition point, take the wetsuit off as quick as I can, goggles off, swim cap off, and I've got my tri-suit on underneath my wetsuit, and put my helmet on, my sunglasses on, quickly drink a quick energy juice, take a quick energy bar, and run to the bike, which was a bit of a trek, to be honest, which wasn't great, running bare feet. Took a pee at that point, because obviously doing this for how many hours, you're going to need to do a toilet, and you're not allowed to do the toilet when you are on the bike or running, so I had to take an opportunity to do a quick pee. I swallowed quite a lot of seawater, and put my cycle shoes on at my bike, got on the bike, and off I went out on the cycle. And the sun started to come out at this point, and the start of the cycle was just amazing. It was flat at the start, and I was cycling really fast. I felt great. I felt energised. I was buzzing. The start of the cycle was along the coast of the sea, and it was just amazing views. It was a great moment. You're thinking, I'm out the water safe. I'm on the bike safe. The bike seems to be working fine. And again, just that feeling of I am doing this. Like, this is all paying. All this hard work is paying off. I'm on the way to finishing this, and the cycle was awesome. As I said, the start it was pretty flat, but then you got to a point where you started getting ascents and hills, and it's 90 kilometres. It's a long time. So I was out in the countryside. I was out cycling through random villages. You then came back through the countryside. The sun was out at this point, and it was absolutely roasting. I'm taking in a lot of water, a lot of energy juice. I'm taking some energy gels that I've got taped onto the frame of my bike every so often. I've got some kind of gum things in a wee bag pouch on my bike just for sugar, because I'm on the bike for over 3 hours. You need to fuel, you need to replenish, especially because I was going hard at it. I was trying to get a really good time here. I was predicting 3.5 hours for my cycle, and there was this Italian woman, because everybody's got their wee flag on their race number. So there's this Italian woman on a pink bike, and she kept overtaking me, and I was like, nah, not happening. So every time she overtook me, I would just blast it and overtake her again. Then that would be her out of sight, and then 20 minutes later she'd beast back and overtake me again. But that's a good thing, because we probably had each other in our sight and thinking, I'm going to get you back, and we probably pushed each other on, and then come back through the countryside, and then you're through the town of Elsinore, and there's a massive hill, and then you're up round another kind of village bit, and then back down the hill, and that's it. You come towards the end of the bike, and at this point, I'm looking at my watch and I'm thinking, this has went a lot better and quicker than I thought here. I was 3 hours 12, and I was delighted with that. Absolutely delighted. Again, I saw the guys at the end of the cycle. 3 hours 12 of really pushing it on the bike. My legs were feeling it, obviously. My legs were burning, but in terms of like overall energy, I felt good, and I was like, holy shit, man, like I could get a way better time than I thought here for the whole thing. The main objectives to finish it. We never do anything this extreme and this far before. To finish it for me is obviously a massive achievement in itself. Now the cut-off time is 8 hours or 8.5 hours. I was saying to myself, finish it first. However, with the training you've been putting in and the way training has been going, you should be doing this in under 7 hours if nothing goes wrong. And a really good time would be something less than 6.5. I said the night before, I said, in under 7, I'll be delighted with. In over 7, I'll be happy to finish, but I'll be quite like, why did it take that long? But at this point, I'm thinking I could get close to 6 hours here, because I had a 2 hours 5 minutes run. That was my goal for the half marathon after the bike, because that's what I'd been doing in training. And you're thinking with the adrenaline and everything, I could get as close to 6 hours. And basically, I come off the bike and my legs are, as I say, sore, burning, but I get my running shoes on. I get another bit of food in me, and I'm out on the run, and I'm going through my first kilometre, going to plan, good speed, good time, and I'm feeling good. And then fucking disaster strikes, like second kilometre in, I just get these ridiculous stomach cramps. Oh man, it was so painful, and I felt absolutely terrible. And I was like, oh my God, hopefully this passes. Not passing, feeling fucking worse. The run's slowing down already. 2-3 kilometres in here, and I'm like, holy shit, I have got 18-19 kilometres to go here, and I feel like shit. Now, there's two things that could have happened here. One is I've swallowed too much seawater, or something that I've swallowed in the swim that didn't agree with me, and it's just kicking in now. Or what I think has happened is the carbohydrate powder that I've used for my cycle and my water bottles is one that I bought at the Ironman Village the day before, because I didn't take carbohydrate powder with me, and it was stuff that I had never used before, which you shouldn't do. It was my bad. If this is what's happened, that I've taken this carb powder that I haven't taken before, and my stomach hasn't agreed with it, and it's kicked in as I've got off the bike, and it's gave me these stomach pains and these stomach cramps and made me feel like absolute crap. But I've never had stomach issues with anything like that before, whether it be gels, whether it be bars, whether it be powders, protein powders, anything like that. I never get gut issues, so it never even crossed my mind to think that this might happen. But it did, and oh my God, man, I'm telling you, like, I absolutely loved this experience, this Ironman. I'm so glad I chose to do this. But that run, that run was fucking hell. Like, I was in a bad way during most 3/4 of that run. Like, as I said, these pains and this feeling kicked in 2-3 kilometres in and wouldn't go away. So my legs were fucked. But I can usually cope with that. I can power through that. But add in these stomach problems, add in the fact that these stomach problems mean that I can't physically eat anymore or drink anymore because I think I can't stomach anything else here. It's going to make me feel worse. And the sun is out full pelt and it's absolutely roasting. I was struggling, like big time struggling. And my run, for the most part, was a lot slower than it should have been and what I would have liked it to be. But you know, this is why, you know, I'm doing it for massive personal reasons, which I've all, you know, explained before. Raising money for charity that people have donated good, hard-earned money to. I've got 3 people over with me, paid a lot of money to be there to support me. I've got a lot of people back home, friends and family, clients, that are all waiting on me to say I finished, and I'm just like, you cannot stop. You need to keep going, and I just had to keep going. There was no other option. Obviously, I was never going to stop and give up. No fucking way. I would have walked it. Might not have made the cut-off time, but if I had to, I would have walked it. But I managed to keep jogging. But it just was nowhere near as fast as it could or should have been. About 15 kilometres in, which at this point I might not even know how I've made it this far, but I'll tell you what, actually, right? See, like, the volunteers at these things, these people are amazing people. These volunteers are like, they are just out of the goodness of their heart, and they're shouting you on every time you pass them, and they don't even know you, and they're just shouting you on, encouraging you, clapping you, telling you to keep going. There's people in the town, in the city, from their, you know, apartment windows shouting, blasting music for you. You know, these people are heroes, man. These people are what gets you through a lot of it. Other racers seeing that you're struggling and saying, come on, keep going, or speaking to me in Danish, but I'm assuming that's what they were saying. You know, at one point I was running alongside a guy who was also definitely struggling, and I just looked at him and I went, fucking brutal, eh? And he had no idea what I said, but he knew we were both in the same world of pain. but yeah, 15, 16 kilometres in, I thought at one of the aid stations they were giving out like things like bars and gels and carb powders, but they had Red Bull and Coca-Cola, and I thought to myself, people tell you to drink Coca-Cola for some reason when you're ill, so try it. So I took a cup of cola, drank it. It went down okay. Oh, I must also point out that I did stop for, 15 seconds to try and make myself sick. I was literally bent over at the side of the fucking track while people were running past me with my fingers down my throat trying to puke to make myself feel better. I was probably about 4 kilometres in, and I just couldn't even puke, so that didn't work. But anyway, I had the cola. It went down okay. I started to feel a little bit better, so I had another one at the next aid station, and I was gradually feeling a little bit better. I could stomach a couple of Red Bulls, and I was just constantly throwing water over my face, and I was drinking a bit of water. And the pain got a little bit better towards the end, and before you know it, I'm looking at where I am, and I've got a few kilometres left, and I'm looking at my watch, and I'm like, you can get below 6.5 hours if you just push, a little bit more. You can do that, and I'm telling you something, man. Like, I was trying so hard to go faster, and I did go a bit faster, but I just couldn't go as fast as I would like to. But God, the emotion towards the end, like, it was pretty mad. Thinking about, I'm about to finish a half Ironman of 6.5 hours of non-stop exercise, what would Dad think? Right now, he would be like, he just would believe it that me, was doing this and was able to do this, and it's him that he's the main reason I was doing it in the first place, because well, there's so many reasons of why, but to make him proud and raising money for the British Heart Foundation. It's a bit overwhelming when you're in that moment. It was a bit overwhelming to think of where I used to be, who I used to be, and how far I'd came. I shed a few tears during the run. We hadn't even finished yet, but I knew I was going to finish, and it was really emotional. There's people there supporting me, people paying good money to fly over to Denmark to be with me, to support me, spending money, Airbnb hotel money for me. People spending their hard-earned wages on donating money to charity because I'm doing this and I'm about to finish it. All the training over the past 5 months of, going in open water swimming in Glasgow at 7 a.m. in the freezing cold water and feeling like absolute shit, but getting it done because you need to do it. Double sessions daily because I was trying to keep and build muscle mass while I was doing it. So I'm doing weights, then I'm doing cardio 4 or 5 days a week. I'm then out on the bike at the weekends and running all weekend, 4 or 5 hours some days at a time. I'm then too tired to do anything after it. The sacrifice to friends, my girlfriend and family at that point. You're thinking, am I being too selfish here? But something I really want to do, and I told myself I'll do whatever it takes. And you're thinking about all that training and all that sacrifice and all the money spent and all the gear and the food and the supplements and all the tiredness of all the training makes you so tired, and still working a full-time job and trying to do numerous other things at one time, and soreness, just all these things are going through your head at that last bit of the run, and but what an amazing feeling! What an amazing feeling! I just can't even start to describe what it's like coming towards the end of that, and then you literally get on the end on that red carpet as you come towards the end, and you're crossing the line, and this is it. So you've done it, and it's just overwhelming emotion and joy and relief, and it's something that is hard to describe. Like, I tried to do a video straight after it when I'd kind of sorted myself to tell everyone I'd done it, and I really couldn't find the right words. And I crossed the line to literally my friends and my girlfriend there, right in front of me, but they're saying fucking well done, and they're emotional, and it was incredible. I'm so happy and so grateful that I have chose to live my life this way, because that feeling will beat any feeling that I used to think I enjoyed for drinking and partying and eating shite and junk food. That feeling beats it all, and the feeling of being fit and the feeling of being able to do that and inspire other people to get fit and healthy and train and eat better. I'm just so fucking happy that my life has turned out this way, and I chose to not take the easy way when my dad died and turn to drink and turn to feeling sorry for myself, and actually said, make something of yourself now. I'm so glad that I done that. And this is only the half, so fuck. Don't know what I'll feel if I do finish the full one, but anything is possible. That's the Ironman logo, and it's because it's fucking true. If you tell yourself you can't do something, then you won't. If you set a goal, put the work in, and above all, actually believe in yourself, then you can. Trust me, take it from me, who 6 years ago couldn't swim, bike, or run for 10 minutes, and I've just done it for 6.5 hours. If you don't want to do something, you'll find an excuse not to do it. If you really want to do something, you will do it. You might fall down, you might fail numerous times before you get there, but if you put the work in and you keep believing, you will do it. What's the next step? Well, the ultimate goal has always been full Ironman. 2019 is the date set. Half was this year, 2018. Full next year, 2019. So, still to decide where I'm going to do it. That will dictate what time of the year, but I'm thinking probably full training for that will start in January with a view for a summer Ironman somewhere in the world. Who knows yet? At the moment, I am focusing on weights and conditioning and strength and size and obviously work and clients, which is obviously always the main focus, but I'll continue to do the disciplines. I've started back in the pool already. I'm going to be doing a swim a week and a cycle a week, and once my foot is healed from plantar fasciitis, which I'm still suffering from a little bit, I will be running, obviously, because I don't want my fitness and those disciplines to fall down too much before I start back proper in January, because I'll just leave myself with too big a mountain to climb, because the full Ironman is literally double everything. So, yeah, double everything. 17-hour cut off. Need to do it within 17 hours or you don't get to finish and don't get a medal. So, yeah. If I thought that half marathon was hard, don't know how the hell next year's going to feel, but I tell you what, I'll put the work in and I'll do my best to get it done. I am raising money for the British Heart Foundation. My dad died suddenly on the golf course in 2012 due to heart failure, and something that it was only ever going to be that I was raising money for this. So the page is open and it will remain open for the full Ironman. Thank you so much to anyone who's donated so far for the half Ironman. I've raised about £600 at this point. I'll put the link on the post for the podcast for anyone who wants to donate. Instead of asking people again for a fresh page or a fresh charity next year, I'm just keeping the same page open with the same charity for people to donate. People who haven't donated can then donate for the full one, or anyone who has already donated can donate again for me doing the full one. There's really whatever people want to do. One donation is obviously enough, but if people want to do it again, then the page will remain open. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I'm so happy I managed to finish the half Ironman, and I can't wait for next year. It's going to be special. Believe in yourselves, push yourselves, set goals, and smash them. Cheers, guys.